Okay, welcome back. We're now on about, I think, day 5 of mishap crash investigation. Last night we were at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and had a couple, about an hour and 15-minute lecture about crash investigation by Mr. Waltrip, who is in charge of the safety program at Embry-Riddle. I'm going to go through some of the stuff that he actually went for those who you missed it or would like to review it. And then also we're going to talk about the assignment and what is to be expected in the assignment that you'll actually be getting your plane. And actually we'll talk about the planes here today if we get a chance. So overall, those of you here, what was your impressions of last night? What did you learn from going to Embry-Riddle?
Different types of plane crashes.
Different types of plane crashes. Exactly. Give me some different types of plane crashes.
Spins.
Spins. That's a good point. We might not have covered that like we should have. A spin is where, well, what happens?
When a plane starts spinning, obviously.
But how do you get to a spin?
Lost a wing.
Lost a wing can, but what else? What happens? You're flying along. You're flying along. Yes, sir.
If you do a 30-degree bank and you wait for a while, you think you have your back straight, so you'll turn again, and then you'll just turn into the ground.
Okay, well, that's true. That's control flight and plane. But a spin, is the plane flying when it's spinning?
No.
No, it's falling out of the sky like a leaf. And so a spin is where a plane stalls and stops flying and then starts to spin or fall.
Flat spin too.
Okay, there's a flat spin, which is really bad, because what happens is when you do a spin, and back in the day when it was a lot less concern for safety or whatever, I actually taught and trained people to spin planes. So you come and you spin, you start stalling, and what happens is when it stalls and stops flying, it'll fall off one way, and actually with your nose down start to spin. And the way that you recover from a spin with it nose down is you push the nose farther down and then put opposite rudder to stop the spin, and then you're in a huge dive and you pull out. I remember, a couple weeks or a month ago, I was telling you about the VNE, your red line on your airspeed indicator where you do not ever exceed it. One time I exceeded it in a Cessna when I was teaching spins, and I was the instructor, but the student did not recover in time, and we actually went past the VNE, and I thought the plane was going to fall apart. I was very lucky. Otherwise, it'd be no ROTC. I wouldn't be here. It'd be an investigation for me. But a spin with your nose down is recoverable. A flat spin, like we laugh about in Top Gun, where there's no nose forward, there's no time for it to go and start flying and have airflow across the wing foils. So a flat spin is bad. The worst is an inverted spin, and I've been in this a couple times, twice, very memorable. But if you're inverted, now look, you're actually being shoved against the canopy, and so you're upside down, is trying to grab the controls, and they're opposite, so it's different. So when you're inverted, how do you get it flying? You pull the nose down versus push, which is your train, and it's very disorienting. I had it happen twice, and it wasn't really a spin, but it was a lot of fun. But it comes out, you still come out, and you got to have a lot of altitude, right? You don't start spin training at 2,000 feet. You start at 20,000 feet or 15,000 feet. I mean, you have a lot of altitude recovery. So, okay, good point. What other kind of crashes can we have?
When it explodes in the air.
In-flight fire?
Yeah, you can have some mechanical failure. He talked about the TWA 800, right? That actually blew up over New York, and that was a huge thing when it happened. We didn't have the technology we had now, and there's lots of conspiracy. I remember the whole thing about the Navy shooting it down. That was very, very controversial. But the bottom line was that he was an excellent instructor. He had the one picture there that showed the whole deal, and y'all got it right. When they had an explosion internal, and the wing and the nose fell off of a plane, the center of gravity changes, and it's going to pop up and start flying up the airframe until it falls off and stops to fly. And of course, to the untrained people, you guys are trained, that would look like maybe a missile hit it. Or it was still flying. You know, it was flying without a nose. It was flying without a center line. So it's very interesting. All right, what else? What else do y'all remember from the talk yesterday?
Some of the causes of crashes,
Like what?
psychological problems that they do, like suicide missions, like it's intentional.
Where they stall.
Excellent. What is that called? What's that field of study called?
Psychology.
Close. Keep going.
Sociology.
Human factors is the term, okay? So you can be a human factors expert. That means what factors actually made that human have these issues. Does that happen outside of aviation?
Yes.
Have any of you guys ever been in a car crash?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about a car crash.
Not fun.
What happened? What happened?
I was going down up to Charleston in West Virginia, and I hydroplaned, and I tried to correct it. Instead, I didn't go into the turn. I went away from the turn, and it slammed on my brakes.
All right, so now we're investigating your crash.
You didn't die.
And I went through the median and oncoming traffic and hit a guardrail.
Okay, so let's investigate your crash. What is the facts, guys?
Human intention.
No, his facts was he hydroplaned and had a crash.
Cell phone.
Okay, so then what else would you investigate in that crash?
The speed he was going.
Speed, what else?
Maybe conditions.
Weather, okay? So, oh, by the way, he's not here. He's just a witness. So therefore, you look into the speed, you look into the weather. The weather was raining, okay? The person, I hydroplane. So whenever you're investigating stuff, you say why. So the question is, why did the individual hydroplane? Was he speeding? Let's say he was. Why was he speeding?
Because he was on late. He's a
He
teenage
might have
boy.
been late.
He's a teenage boy. Or he was late. He was going to an appointment. He was going to the church. He was going to pick up his mom and dad. So guess what? Then you get into human factors. When you start talking why was he going to pick up his mom and dad? Well, they lost the other car, and there was only one car in the family, and he was in a rush. That's all human factors. And 2 weeks prior, maybe he was late picking up his mom, and his mom yelled at him, so this time he wanted to be on time. These are all human factors, psychologically, why this happens. And I'm telling you what, in the this Malaysian incident that we're in the middle of, there will be huge human factors. You know, yes, there was a terrorist action. Well, why? You know, yes, there was a suicide. Why? Why did it happen? People don't do these things without thinking. Yes?
It was actually, it was supposed to be 75 miles an hour. I slowed my speed down to about 65, and I had cruise control on.
Okay. Why?
I had my permit, and
But why did you have your cruise control on?
I thought I was doing it right.
Okay, so that was a human factor. We're there, let's see, 65 miles an hour. Does anybody know the speed at which you hydroplane? There's a formula that you can go figure out with the speed at which you hydroplane based on the tires. Would you have new tires on the car?
Yeah,
How many miles they have on the car tires?
about 30 miles, sir.
They were brand new tires.
Brand spanking new.
So guess what? Why? Why did you have new tires on the car?
Because
Because the old ones were worn out.
Okay, so therefore the question is, do brand new tires at 65 with that amount of rain cause hydroplaning? You could have sued the tire company.
You should have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is how investigation goes. You got to think about absolutely every kind of incident, guys. This is how it works. And this is what you're going to be faced with next week when we hand out these three plane crashes. The reason it happens is not obvious. And you got to go, why, just like we're playing here. And that's how it works out. Okay, what else did we learn last night? Yes, sir.
Weather can cause crashes.
Weather can how can the weather can cause crashes?
If you need to stay underneath the cloud, you can only follow roads. You hit a telephone wire.
That was a great picture, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I follow roads, and I'm going to fly to Flagstaff, and the weather's going to be great. And who would have thought that power line was? Do you know how many planes have hit power lines? I mean, probably as many as birds. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot. A lot. So many that you realize helicopters, Army helicopters, have a cable cutter on the top of them. So the helicopters fly so low all the time, and they don't see, you can't see the wires. They have a helicopter, have the actual cutters on the front of the helicopters. And so
they can just fly through them.
well, the idea is to cut them and save their life and hurt the wires. So yeah, that's pretty normal. All right, so he hit the wire. Why did he hit the wire?
Because it's flying too low.
Why?
Because the conditions
Clouds,
made
and
him
when he
fly
came
low.
down, he hit.
Oh, so he conditions made. Well, why was he flying in these conditions?
Because he didn't know.
Poor planning.
Poor planning. Was he instrument qualified?
No.
Because otherwise he'd be up in the clouds and he wouldn't be scud running trying to do it. So if he was scud running and he knew what he was doing, what poor planning, how could he have planned better?
Either got unqualified for instruments.
He could have looked at the charts we just gave you guys and said, 700-foot wires here. I need to figure this out, right? He could have planned it. He could have planned it. Here, matter of fact, here is an example of some helicopters with their wire cutters. See the wire cutter right on the front of this? So the wire comes in between the actual body of the helicopter and the rotors, and it's supposed to cut it right there. Boom. And if it doesn't cut it, it ends up being a big mess.
You have to be able to, so that's in case you accidentally run into them, or do you have to?
Yep, you don't do it on purpose, I guarantee you. Because again, when you hit a wire, your goal is to live, not to look pretty.
Colonel, what about if they're flying and it gets caught on the bars underneath?
Bad luck. Your bad day. And your dumb day. All right, so that's good. What else? Yes.
Oh, well, I just had a quick question because yesterday I watched the movie Flight, and that was based on a true plane crash.
Okay.
And I know it went down nose first.
Which plane where?
I don't remember what.
You mean in the movie Flight?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know anything about that, but go ahead.
Well, I know he was high when he was flying the plane.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it crashed, the damage, it didn't look like it would have happened because it went nose down, but then the tail flew off.
Okay, I do know this movie is the movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a current movie, and that maneuver that was depicted. What happened, guys, is the guy was flying, and there was a
Rear elevator is locked up or something.
yeah, it was a mechanical failure, and the plane actually did an aileron roll, and he flew it upside downwards, and then he landed it in a field, right?
That's cool.
And so it was aerodynamically impossible to do that. So that was Hollywood. So what's your question?
Well, I was just wondering, I was the damage doesn't match how, it doesn't line up with, how he, landed it.
Well, he landed, he did an aileron roll, and he came down, and he was flying it upside downwards or something, and then he ended up landing it in a field, and he saved a lot of people's lives, and he was a hero. Bottom line, he's a drunk and addicted. But he did a good job landing it. But I think what happens is when it lands, the plane is a tube with different parts, and yes, it just popped apart with the tube. You look at a plane, you think it's one piece. It's not. It's like 8 or 10 sections, and they just pop apart, and it's hard to predict how they're going to fall apart. Fall apart. That's a good question. All right, what else did we learn last night? Yes, Ms. Lower.
That mist can make the sky kind of blend in with the water, so you don't know what the sky is and you don't know where
Very good. And I think that might be part of one of your crashes is spatial disorientation, right? And that has happened to me. Every aviator's probably had that happen, but you have to be educated about it. Something I teach in my honors class is that I have been flying and looked up with a sky with blue sky. You're looking up at the blue sky like we see every day out here. Of course, that's not common in the rest of the world. But then you turn around and you look down at the ground. If boats give trails of waves, right? But if you look down, there's a boatless ocean. That ocean can look just like looking up. And that's daytime. And that at night, it's worse because if there's no sky, if there's overcast, there's no stars. I've even looked down and see boats on the ground, on the water, and thought it was stars. And I'll even tell you another funny story. I was in Miami, Florida, and I took off in an F-4, one of my first time I flew fighters, and you're going fast, so you're very overwhelmed. And what happens is you take off one plane, and 2 minutes later you take off the wingman. And this guy turns, and the wingman comes and joins up. And so he took off over the Everglades, out over the Keys, actually, below Miami. And I took off, and my wingman, my flight lead, turned, and I'm brand new. And I had an instructor in my back who supposedly knew what was going on. And he turned, and I'm supposed to go and rejoin on him, and he turns, and I'm rejoining on him, and he's got he's a white light, I mean, you can see him out there. It's at night, but all of a sudden he doesn't get any bigger. So what am I doing?
You're following a star.
I'm rejoining on a star. And so I kept flying, and I went about 40 miles away from my flight lead, who's now going this way. And I go, where are you guys? And the guy, the instructor in my back seat, was just as clueless as I was. And so that was a dangerous thing, but that just shows how simple and easy. I was trying to rejoin on a star instead of rejoining on the lights of my flight lead. And that has happened to a lot of people, and me too. All right, anything else from last night? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
If you're looking at a runway, some of them, I think, throw in the center because it could look like it's slanted.
Runways are not flat.
Yeah, runways are flat. They look like they could be slanted up or down.
That is in every bit of the airfield directory, is what it's called, the airfield manual. You actually look at the incline angle of the runways, and they do dip and everything else, and it can matter because it increases or decreases your takeoff roll significantly. Good point. All right, so then last night was handed out a aircraft accident field investigation guide. We wanted to go over groups, right?
Yes, sir.
Did some of y'all have questions about your groups?
Yes, sir.
So let's put that here on the Moodle. All right, I want to make sure everybody in this class and anybody at hybrid that has a question about what groups are in, we have it together. And I kind of just put it on here. Okay, here are the groups that we have, and there's MS. Let me draw that up bigger there. All right, is that right? What's wrong? We have 4 groups.
What in the world?
What?
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
They just pushed 2 of them together, so it goes in out a bit.
Not with me.
There we go.
How about that? My bad. Okay,
Wait.
my bad.
So not the
Okay,
groups.
MS1, we got, okay, that makes
It goes down. It goes down, guys.
Reading the other way.
That makes sense.
Okay,
No, sir, we picked our own groups, sir.
that's exactly why we copied. I got the piece of paper y'all picked them off of.
Yeah.
So these are the groups you did. Yes, ma'am, can I help you? Can I help you, ma'am?
Yes.
I'm online. Can I help you?
Sorry.
You're being videotaped. Can I help you? What can I do for you? You're
I
being
observe?
videotaped. Who do you need to
Observe.
talk to?
No, I just want to observe.
Oh, you can observe. Sit in the back. Yeah, okay. We're online. We're being videotaped. Yep, sure. Welcome to. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
The group I know I picked was Perry, Colton,
Yeah.
Jake, and Gabe.
I think just me and Van Ruben got switched.
Yeah.
I think that's the only problem.
And me, Johnston, Knight, and Rossman are supposed to be a group, sir.
I'm pretty sure the
4
groups
groups of
picked
5.
Yeah, but
There's 4 groups of 5.
So we put
the person that was trying
I joined in.
Okay, so this is what we agreed. This is what you gave me a week ago.
No.
Okay. I remember we had 1 group of 5, and then we had 3 groups of 4, and then we had 1 group of 3.
Well,
and so we.
Is everybody's name up there?
Yes, everyone is there, sir. Everyone's in a group.
We have 5.
But I think just 2 people got switched.
Okay, let's just do it with this. This is how it goes, guys. This is how it goes. We do the best we can. And the world's not going to end, okay? The world's not going to end. The thing is, y'all need to look at these groups, and by next Monday, you're going to be selecting I tell you what, I'll actually give you your handouts for the crashes, and I'll be putting these online probably Thursday, so you can start looking at it. I'll sign you your plane on Thursday, and that's included for the hybrid and the SAL cadets. And you need to start thinking, who is your commander, or who's your president, who's your investigating officer, and what kind of specialty people you need on your investigation team. Last night at the Embry-Riddle meeting, did I hand out these crash investigation projects? I don't think so. All right, here we go. Hand these out to the teams, please. They can be different phases of the assignment. Phase 1, 2, 3, 4. And basically, the phases are relative to what type of accomplishment you're doing. Okay? Phase 1, let's see, and I think I put this part on here lower. All right, y'all can, I'm handing it out, but again, I have this all online. Phase 1 is your organization of your project. So you're going to have to get with your groups, and as of tomorrow, we'll be sitting down with your groups, and you're going to have to form your team. You're going to have to find out who's the president, who's the investigating officer, and what kind of potential members of your groups to have. The organizational phase will be finished next Monday, because you're actually going to get your planes assigned this Thursday or Friday. Yes? Hello?
Never mind.
Somebody was talking to me on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
But the idea behind the organizational phase is to get your act together. You need to read the entire document here that is your assignment, as well as make sure here everybody has Gmails, but on the hybrid students, they need to make sure they have Gmail so they can collaborate with the Google Docs. The investigation portion of the mishap will happen next Monday when you actually get your plane. You'll be at Embry-Riddle and you'll go kick metal, you'll take pictures, and you'll actually see the plane that you're going to be investigating. I'll have the handouts. The handouts will be listed online, and you can actually start researching your crash and coming up with theories of why it crashed. Yes, Cody?
It says assign mishap investigation team positions, and it gives president, investigative officer.
I was giving you ideas. You can pick out whatever you want.
Okay.
One person can be more. It depends on your number of people in your class. I think this class we got 5, but some of the groups you only have 2 or 3, and of course they can do multiple things, and we'll grade appropriately. Okay. Again, like I said last night, all of your products will be graded and filmed and put online, and you'll be graded by your peers. I'm not grading you for this assignment, although this assignment is probably a third of your 4th quarter grade. So basically, if you look at it, phase 1 and phase 2 will be done by next Monday. Tuesday, this class will be put in the labs, and I'll have some lab time for you guys to start producing and researching your documents. Okay? So it's phase 2 and 3 will be next week for you guys working in the classes, okay? And so we're working it so that you guys will be the first to present and be filmed online. The hybrid students will be following you by about a week or so. All right? Yes, sir.
Is there appointed times to go? Like, could we get our group and like make an appointment to go to the crash sites on our own, or no?
Can you go to the crash sites on your own? The answer is no. Because it's a locked facility.
I know,
dangerous.
like permission by the.
You know what? You can talk to those masters kids, and they're motivated. And so maybe after next Monday you could do it. You have to do it on your own. Chat with them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a possibility. I just know that because it's so valuable, they have it really locked up. It's dangerous too. You saw that mess last night.
Yeah.
Yes.
If one of the planes had like a mechanical problem with it, would one of the people be a mechanic to?
Yes, that was right there. Maintenance officer. Yes, exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter if like we use a digital or film camera?
I'd rather use digital so that you can put it through your Google Docs on your presentation and link it up here so everybody can see. All right. Guys, we have about 2 minutes. I'm going to conclude this crash investigation day 5, and we will start with everything else proceeding towards the different phases tomorrow, okay?